Hola a todos, buenos días. Me llamo Daniel Marquez, soy jugador profesional de FC Juarez de la Sub-20 y esto es Más Futbol Podcast.
Yo, welcome back to the Mas Futbol Podcast, the #1 soccer podcast in Oklahoma City. I am your host, Ricardo Ulloa, and I am here today at Legacy Real Estate Group. Shout out to the sponsors. You know what they do. If you're looking to buy, sell a house, invest in a house, the time is now. So I always recommend my tia Rossi, my tio Salvador, my tia Vero, my cousin Alex. They are all great. So shout out to the sponsors. But I'm not here by myself today because I am here with a special guest. I am here with my guy, Danny. What's up, my friend?
Hello.
I do have this applause. Thank goodness I have the applause. How are you, bro?
I'm doing good. Thank God. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you for asking. I appreciate you for coming on, man. You had to get an Uber to get here, man. Yeah. So you crossed the mountain to get here. So I appreciate that, bro. Thank you.
No. I'm actually grateful for you having me here and everything, you know?
Of course, man. So for the people that don't know you, introduce yourself and tell me what you do.
My name is Daniel Marquez. I'm naturally born here in Oklahoma City. I play professional soccer in Mexico. I started doing this since I was like 15 years old. Mm-hmm. And thank God now that I'm 18, I'm in FC Juarez right now at the moment at the U20. And that's where I'm staying at right now.
Dang, congratulations, dude.
No, I appreciate it.
I know that it's been a journey because we've all kind of seen you been playing,
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma City is small, so everybody has kind of seen everybody kind of grow up and play soccer. But you said you started this at 14?
Yeah, 14, 15 years old. I started traveling to Mexico and everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it was hard at first due to, like, the papers. Because, whenever you're coming from the U.S. or, like, another country to, like, another country, you have to have the nationality of the country you're going to, So, for me, it required me to have, like, a Mexican birth certificate, Mexican passport. If not, then the FIFA wouldn't allow me playing in that league. So, yeah.
And your parents, I know your dad is from Jalisco, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is your mom also from Jalisco too?
No, my mom is, she's from Chihuahua,
Okay.
but she was raised in Torreon.
Oh, okay. Nice. So then I guess you, like me, have both parents that are from Mexico. Mm-hmm. Was the process pretty seamless for you to get the dual nationality? Or?
It was hard at first just to get the cita, like the, meaning and everything. But as soon as we got it, like the first day we got there, like they literally just took in me, my brother, my sister, and they gave us like our birth certificate, our matriculas, like the little ID card, and our passports.
Dang, that's dope. That's something that I want to do. That I think it'd be nice to have, especially since we go pretty often, for you to be a national citizen like that.
I mean, it's honestly easier to travel over there like that because like you can just show me your Mexican passport and you don't have to like do all this document stuff, like because like whenever you're from another country and you travel over there in plane, like you have to show them like the thing and they have to like
you have to get your visa. You have to basically ask for permission to get in and get out. And as a citizen, you just go right in.
Just go right in.
That's nice, dude. So now that you're at FC Juarez, how has that been? Like, how has the season been?
It's been up and downs, honestly. Yeah. I mean, the first 2 seasons I was there, I really didn't play much due to an injury. Like, as soon as I debuted, I tore a muscle, like, the first 2 minutes. It was from nerves, and, field wasn't really good at the time, and they said it was going to rain, so I wore, metal studs, and my leg got stuck. All I did was twist, like, my whole body, and my leg was stuck, and just practically my muscle just torn from the back.
Damn.
So I missed out pretty much, 3 months of soccer, without running. I gained a lot of weight. But I ended up playing the last 2-3 games. I started my last game. I ended up scoring against Necaxa. And we came back the next season. I was just playing 15 minutes, 5 minutes, or 30 minutes. I only scored 1 goal, which was against Chivas. And from there, after that, they had kicked me out 1 season. That's when I was here for 6 months, 5 months and everything. So I ended up trying to go to the Copa Alianza. It's really popular here in the U.S. I got chosen by a couple teams, mostly from San Luis and Monterrey. I was going to end up leaving to Tijuana after everything. But Monterrey just called out of nowhere. They called my dad. We were at the airport, and they told us, "Oh, we got you this plane ticket right now, so you can like come over here. We'll have your hotel paid for your dad. You'll have Casa Club. You'll stay here. You'll be training here, and we'll practically sign you in that week." So as soon as I showed up there, the first 2 days, they told me like, "Hey, we want you to stay. We can just train you physically, get you, physically prepared for the season." But the thing is that I couldn't sign because I still had like a contract in Juarez. So they didn't want to let me go. I had to go back to Juarez to ask them like if I could like,
I guess terminate the contract.
yeah, like just cut everything off, or like if they can like give me away as a trade or something like that. But they were kind of rude about it. They ended up making me go back. They offered me another contract of a whole year with money and everything. So I was like, okay, like I'll just finish my contract here. And if God wants me to go back, then, I'll go back. So, I mean, now I'm a free agent. And, I mean, I can't really talk about it, but I still don't know what my plans are going to be or what I'm going to end up doing, where I'm going to go. But, as long as I have a chance to debut in first division or be close up there, like, I don't mind. So, yeah.
As long as you're chasing the dream, you're down to go down like that.
Yeah, as long as I get minutes, or as long as I'm noticed by my coach or, like, the whole club, like, that's all that matters to me,
Yeah, of course, dude. That must be tough to deal with, like, in your head. A little bit of the uncertainty, but to a lot of the people that I've spoken to, it's like that. It's like that not just for you, but for a lot of players, right? And I don't think a lot of people understand that side of it,
Yeah, I mean, most people judge because, if I'm going to be honest, most people judge because you know how my dad is in the soccer thing and everything. And my dad is well known from that. People assume that, just because I'm Gino's son, like, practically I can be anywhere, just because he has contacts. No, I mean, my dad has contacts for us to go try out. Like, we're not there for sure, And that's our decision if we want to, do what we got to do to be there. And so, yeah, I mean, thanks to my dad, like, I had the opportunity to go to Juarez or many places like León, Tigres. And, yeah, I mean, it's just that he gets us a trial. We get there. We have to practically work our asses off to, stay. And it's pretty hard, with the distance, being in another country, far from your family. But you get used to it. Like, it's like a whole different lifestyle,
Yeah, that's a good point you brought up. Like, your dad might help you get your foot there, but he's not playing for you on the field, is he?
Like, I mean, he's trained me since I was a little kid, like the basic stuff, what you, learn. But once you get at that level, you have to adapt yourself real quick because it's really hard. Like, you have to understand the system, especially in a different language. Like, the plays, the tactics, the movements, everything, So at first it would be kind of hard until like you understand it completely. Like, you adapt yourself quick. It's not even about being quick with your feet. It's about being quick with your head, So, yeah.
Well, I was gonna ask, what was the one thing that? First, what was the first thing that you learned? And then second, what was the hardest thing that you had to learn?
The first thing I had to learn was how to communicate myself in the field. I mean, I was a pretty quiet player, like I really wouldn't talk much because I really didn't know what to say. But after I learned a lot from the coach that had me at first, he really didn't teach me as much because he kind of didn't like me because I was American, But after that, like, I ended up learning by myself. I bought like a whole book of like tactics and everything, so like I could get myself in the game, But recently this season we have a new coach. He's been champion in the U20s. He's been in first division. He actually got Juarez to the first division too from the Ascenso. And he's been hard on me, but like in a good way, Like, he's making me learn. Like,
he's pushing you.
He's like pushing me really hard, and he's just been telling me like, if you don't learn this basic stuff right now, then it could be really difficult to like, to be in first division because like this is what you have to know. Like, simple stuff like that. I think the hardest thing was for me to learn. It was just to, how do I explain it? Like, how to move in the field, like the movements, like I had to have someone show me how to do it because like explaining it to me, like, I couldn't really understand. So it was just like,
it had to be shown. Maybe if you had like, maybe game footage would help you a little bit more than just
or like during training and stuff, like they would show us and how to do it. And as soon as like they showed me one time, That's all I needed. Like, I would just adapt myself to it. Like, okay, like I have to do this. That's it, you know?
What kind of movements are these? Is it more
It's
just like being efficient on the field, pressuring in right spaces, or?
Yeah, practically. For my position as a striker, I always have to make a movement to space, or if anything, like I have to drop in to ask for the ball or just like hold it. And that's something I would really struggle with. Or practically, like if you're inside the box, like you always have to be the first one, the first post, just to get that, you know, like tap in or header or, you know, stuff like that. And that's one thing I would never do. I would always be going to the second post so I can jump in the air. But as soon as like I got myself used to just first post, or always being the first one in the box and everything.
So. Reminds me of, you know who does that really well is Holland.
Yeah.
And I was gonna ask, like, is there anyone that you watch that you kind of like to emulate? Because Holland, like, on top of him being huge, a beast and a finisher, his movement is excellent. He gets himself in those positions, and I don't think that's good. That's probably the last thing that people talk about Holland.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, people always talk about how high he jumps, or his movements like through space, or like how he gets in through players, or just like simple stuff like that. But the difficult stuff that he does is how he gets in there, like how he does the movements, like what does he have to do, like how does he get through the space and stuff like that, you know?
Haz de cuenta como Chicharito
Yeah.
type of forward too. What type of forward are you then?
I'm practically a forward that's in the area the whole time, just in the air, like, or in the penalty spot, you know? Like I'm always inside the box, like I have to be there because of my height and my strength, you know, like I can win any ball in the air, or, you know, like even if it's just a tap in. I mean, there's times where I can use like my long legs for speed, like, you know, like get into the, you know, like just running between the two defenders, or like just a simple movement like that, so I can go and I can just like cross it in, or you know, stuff like that.
Creating some space.
Yeah, creating space practically.
Nice, dude. And then, so you have 1 year left with the contract, with who you? No, you said you're free.
Yeah, I'm a free agent right now.
So then you're just practicing every day then, right?
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna tell us later this week when do we have to go back as well. And I mean, I don't know if I want to look anywhere right now, but I kind of don't want to like risk it, like, you know, okay, like I'll settle myself down somewhere else in reality if I don't have anything there, you know? So I'm just being patient. Might just go back. If anything, I have 2 years in the U20, and I'm, you know, gonna keep pushing myself to see if I can get myself up there, the first division and everything.
How much of this is all like mental?
At first, it was really difficult. I mean, it still is. Like, it builds up like a lot of like doubt, stress, and, you know, even though my age, like I still haven't finished school due to all this, which I'm back in now. But it's really difficult, really mentally like messed up, you know, because you have to keep yourself in a healthy state, you know, mentally and physically. So you have to keep yourself in a really strong place.
Yeah, man. Everything's up in the air. Nothing's really set in stone, but like, no sé cómo lo haces. What do you do to like keep yourself?
I mean, honestly, what keeps me going as if now, and that's been pushing me a lot, is my son. Now that
Congratulations on that too, man.
Thank you. Yeah, he's been mostly the person that's been keeping me going to, like, you not give up or anything like that. Because, I mean, there's days where you come back, like, from practice and you're like, God, like, you know, like, what am I doing? But then I look at myself, I'm like, I came really far, you know, like, I know there's a lot of people that wish they were in my shoes right now, so I have to take advantage of it, you know, because, I mean, it's cost me a lot of money to live here, you know, like, I really don't make much money and anything like that. Like, my parents are helping me out, thank God, you know, but it's been really, like, hard, you know, keeping yourself going. But, I mean, you wake up practically every day, you show up to practice, but, like with a smile and everything, you're happy because you're doing what you love. I mean, that's how it is for me. Like, no matter how difficult days can be or anything like that, I still remember what I have, you know, like, why am I doing this? Like, it's not even for me now, you know, like, I want to give my son, like, you know, the future, like, a really good future off of this, and practically pay off my school so I can go to a good college and, you know, help myself out and my family, you know.
Yeah, dude, that naturally just comes when you have a kid, huh? That's their mentality just switches. It just switches.
I mean, because at first I was just like, like, I'm gonna just go play, you know,
just
like,
me.
it's just, you know. But now, like, as soon as I found that I was gonna have a kid, like, my head just like snapped quick. You know, it was during season and everything. I was like, God, like, you know. And I feel last season, not this one, but the one before, I had a really good season. I had so many minutes. I was starting, and I was scoring goals. You know, and I went up a age group, and it's been hard because like the directiva, they don't like me because they offered me like 2 years of a contract, and I was like, I'm not sure yet because my dad is practically my manager and my agent. So I had to talk to him. I was like, we can wait till the end of the season, see how the season goes, and if anything, like, I don't care about the money as long as I'm here playing. You know, like, I want to have minutes. That's what matters, because the money's not going to get you to first division. It's the minutes, the goals, and everything. You know. And after that, I guess it made him upset. So I really didn't play till like the last game. Like, and I only played 2 minutes the last game as well. Like, I had the first 4 games straight playing Chivas, Tijuana, Necaxa, and Querétaro. And then after that, I just was running and practice and everything because they thought I was going to leave, you know? So it made them upset. My coach was mad too. Not at me, but like at them, you know?
Because out of his hands, I guess. They told him, I guess.
And I mean, there was a lot of problems this season, not just with me, but a lot of players with the club. But I mean, we had a really good season. We were just like 2 goals of difference to qualifying to the quarterfinals and everything, you know? But yeah, I mean, that's how soccer could be sometimes. It's a pain in the ass, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
But I mean, as long as you still get to do what you love, it's all good, you know?
Yeah, it reminds me, I follow your stuff on TikTok occasionally. You ever see those TikToks where it's just like, it shows the dude doing something, whether it's like you playing in Mexico, and then it'll cut back to a little picture of you saying, "Oh, we made it pro."
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I love that one. I love that one.
It's honestly really good, you know? It's really cool.
Do you ever think back on the Oklahoma soccer days?
I really do look back at it a lot. I mean, I remember I was playing in Celtic, you know, or my dad's league, or at Western and stuff like that. And it makes me really happy, you know, like, I grew up here, you know, like, and I'm practically one of the people that get lucky to like represent my, you know, my state and everything, my city. And it makes me feel proud of myself at times, you know, like, I really never come to myself and be like, oh, like, you know, I'm happy for what you're doing, you know, like, I'm always just like in a mental state where I'm like, okay, you got to keep working, like, it's not enough. But there's times where I'm like, okay, you know, like, you're doing something good, you know, you chose to take the right path to do what you want to do in life, like what you love, like what you practically live off of, you know, because my dad lives off of soccer and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's what I get to live off of as well, you know? And it's something that I took in a good way, you know? Like, I was like, okay, like, but now I have to finish my school, obviously, just in case of emergency, like an injury or something like that. Like, you know, I can still have my college and stuff like that, so.
Dang. Would you still be able to play college soccer?
I honestly don't know. If anything...
We'll just not talk about it.
No, like, I would love to.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, like, if anything, if it doesn't work, I would love to come here and play, but I don't know how that works.
Yeah, me neither. I don't know if, and that's why I said I don't want to like jinx it or anything like that. Let's not touch the topic, because what if the day that comes where you need to, and you know, how has coming back to Oklahoma been? Because dude, they have a new turf field downtown too. I bet you said you've been practicing there every day.
Yeah, like every day. Since I came back on Monday, the first day I was here, I went there with my sister. I mean, you just show up and there's like a bunch of people like on the side, and they're like, oh, like it's just like 11v11 for like 10 minutes or so, or you get scored on, you're out. And yeah, it's been pretty fun. Like, I get there, my boys are there, they're playing and stuff, so I hop in with them. Like, you're practically having fun, but like, you know, still running around.
Yeah, it's a good way to get some exercise.
Yeah, it's true.
And everybody's been, I feel like the vibe there has been pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Hasn't been too bad. I haven't seen any fights, I haven't heard of anything like that, so it's been awesome, dude.
It is awesome, honestly. I really love that field. It's really cool.
It is badass. And then showing up to Western. How's that? How are the vibes every time you go back? Smile.
It's pretty fun, honestly. I mean, you still get to play with the people that you know, that you grew up with as well. So it's honestly pretty badass.
Grew up with, seen grow up, you grow old. I remember when I played at Nacatic, when I would play along with your dad. This is how young I was, like 15, 16. I would play with your dad. I would play with Macario. I'd play with Alex's dad.
Dang.
Who else did I got to play with? Who was in goal? One of your uncles.
Yeah, one of my uncles. Was
One of the uncles that have like 6 or 7, 8, 9, 10 brothers. One of him was goalie. And yeah, because they're all related to, I don't know if it's my grandma.
Mm-hmm.
From that side.
From that side.
Yeah, porque ella es de Rio de Vázquez.
Rio de Vázquez as well.
Yeah, so that's where the connection comes from. So it's always, I mean, you know how it is. Son tus primos. You know?
Like, you know, they're your second cousins and stuff like that.
Exactly. When I see Juan and Mertz, I'm like, primo, George, hey, primo. Yeah. I haven't seen Rafa in a while, but occasionally when I see him, I'm like, yo, what's up, man?
You know what's... Yeah, I haven't seen Rafa in a while either. I mean, practically the people that I see most are like Juan or Alex and stuff like that, you know? But yeah, I mean... It's actually pretty badass. You gotta play with Macario and Alex's dad.
Yeah, dude.
They were good back then too.
They were good, dude. Beasts. They were, especially Alex's dad. He was the type of player that you just didn't want to run into on the field.
Yeah, because
he was huge, man. He was a killer, dude. And it's funny when I would see him at church now, as like not playing, because I would remember him just be like, he's completely different on the field than he is off the field. Does that make sense?
He's like a whole different person.
A whole different. That's funny. And you said you're, I guess, getting your workout now then, right? Here playing Sunday League and whatnot.
Like in the mornings, let's say like before I came here, I had to hit the gym so I can do like upper body or like legs and stuff like that. And I just leave like the conditioning to like the field. Or like I'll go run around around my house. Like I go run like a mile, 2, 3, 4, depending on how my legs are doing, the day before.
How important is that?
It's really important, because I mean, you can run as much as you want, but if you don't run in the field, it's completely different, because if you're just running around in one pace, it's not the same. Like, it gives you a good condition, but whenever you're in the field, it's a whole different thing, because you make a sprint here, you make a sprint there, or like you're jogging, you're walking, so you
change of pace, sprinting, stopping on a dime,
that's
changing directions.
Right there.
Dang, that's true. What are some of your favorite spots that you train at here? Like, I bet you have some spots that are just like, this is my gym spot that I don't tell anybody about, whether it's going to like Rotary Park or whatever. Like, you have any special spots that you practice at?
Practically the spot that I would mostly train at, since I would always come here for vacations, it would always be at Jefferson. Yeah, I was always at Jefferson with my brother or my sister, Yeah. But now, I mean, now that the new field is open and like a lot of people go there, so I go so I can have fun and stuff like that, but like still run. Like, I'm just running like crazy and stuff, but yeah.
In high school, what high school did you go to?
I only played 1 season of high school.
Really?
Yeah, my freshman year.
Where?
It was at Grant.
At Grant?
Yeah, I guess I made history with them. It was the first time going to the second round, I believe.
Really?
And we were district champs as well.
Who did you guys lose to that year?
We lost to Mustang.
Oh, 2-1. At Capitol Hill, wasn't it?
Capitol Hill.
I remember that game. I was there at that game. Yeah,
we lost 2-1 against Mustang.
Do you ever think, like, how would it have been to finish playing high school at Grant?
I feel like after the first season, because it was like mostly the seniors with Kenneth and all of them, things would have changed. Like, we had a really good team. We had Kenneth and like mostly like, star players from high school that season, So I feel like it helped me a lot since I was like practically the only freshman there. And I had my brother on the team too. He was the goalie. Yeah. So,
was he a senior there too?
No, he was a sophomore at the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, we had a really good team. So I really don't know how I would have ended off, like by my senior year or anything like that,
Yeah. How is your brother, man? Because I had followed, I think somewhere I interacted with him on social media. Is he still out there in Mexico?
Yeah, right now he's in Mexico as well. He's in Galmacan. Yeah, it's like a whole beach right there. It's
really?
5 hours from Cancun, so it's pretty badass.
Really? So he's on the coast, and he's a goalie.
Yeah, he's a goalie. He's like the second goalie, I believe.
What division is this team?
It's like third division.
Third division.
It's really good, honestly. Like, they get the players from there to go to Expansión, or like, let's say, like his age, he can still play in Fuerzas Básicas, like where I'm at. But it's just really harder for a goalie,
That's what I was about to touch on, because as a forward, I mean, they're giving you occasional minutes every now and again, pero ya de portero, there's only one goalie.
Yeah, there's only one goalie. So, I mean, it's been really difficult for him, Like, he goes to plays, like, and there's like, they already have their goalies. They don't want to switch up anything. No matter how good you can be, but if they have their favorites and goalies, they're not going to switch them off. I mean, he's had bad luck. But that's one person I've always looked up to, my brother, because he might get turned down. He's good. He's really good. Like, the people love him. But it's just like the goalie trainers are like, no, we already have our goalies. Why, switch up. But he's like those type of people that don't give up. Like, he still works hard. He always has a smile on him. Like, he's always calling us, like, check up on us, like, motivating us. Like, he's that type of person,
Nice, dude. Shout out to your brother.
And that's one of the only people that I look up to besides my dad and everything.
Dude, how is having Gino as your dad? Because, from our outside in, well, you already know how outside in people look at you, but how is it inside out?
He's pretty rough on us.
Yeah?
Really rough on us. He doesn't really show his type of love, like, by, like, telling us and stuff like that. But he's those type of people that want you to have, like, everything, like a good life. Like, he wants you to not have to work, your whole life, So that's why he's always been hard on us for, like, on soccer and everything. Because he's always told us that we have potential and stuff like that to go, But if we don't believe it, then, like, what's the point of trying? Like, he's straight up with us. Like, if you don't want to do it, then just don't. Like, just put yourself to work, go study and stuff like that. Like, I'll still help you out with that. But apart from that, it's kind of weird because how most people just aim for soccer, so they kind of put their beef with him because they don't like him on us. So
that's the worst, dude. Like, I heard that saying somewhere. It's like, you can never pass the sins of the father onto the son because he's just a completely different person. That's not your fault. You know what I'm saying?
Like, my dad is those type of people that really don't care. Like, you can tell him anything. He's just, yeah, it's fine. But, like, the thing is that, like, people that try to get in his head, like, they try to get in with us, So, I really don't pay attention to it. Like, that's one thing I learned from my dad, like, to not pay attention to, like, the negative stuff. Like, just focus on you.
You really had some stuff happen to you guys?
People, like, come at us and, like, oh, like, the only reason you're in Mexico, like, it's just because your dad. And, like, there's times where I'm just like, what? Like, I kind of want to tell him something, but I just stay quiet. Like, it's really not important. Like, people are not going to understand what it's like,
Or they look for that out of you. Like, that once you respond to them, they've already won.
And, they already won. So I'm just like, it's whatever,
Yeah.
But, yeah.
It comes from a bad spot. Like, it's out of jealousy or, because, like you said, like, he might have helped you, but he's not there playing for you on the field. He's not there playing for me or, like, dealing with these people, like, it's practically me doing that. Like, he supports me from outside. Him and my mom have always supported me, My mom is that type of person that's just like, oh, like, come on, don't give up, or, like, stuff like that. And my dad is like, like, I can't help you in the field, but, just outside economically or, like, support and stuff like that. So, what has been something from your dad's game that you've tried to pick up? Because your dad has some game.
I don't know, honestly. I feel like if I could at least have, like, a 10% from here. 10%? I would probably be in first division right now, honestly.
Think so? I've seen your dad pull some, like, stuff out of his bag that I'm just like, how?
Yeah.
Like, what's the first one that comes to your head, like, that you remember seeing?
I feel like his headers.
Headers?
The way he Dude. Oh, God. He has a big head, obviously.
It's a lot of surface area you can cover by.
But, the way he jumps as well, like, even to his age, he can still pull off some really cool stuff. His power shot as well, his accuracy, like, that's always something I try to, like, do as well, like, copy and stuff. But, just, like, simple stuff like that. Because he has a lot of potential. Like, I feel like if he would have had a dad like me, or if he would have had his dad, I feel like he would have been in the big leagues or, something like that.
I was talking to somebody who was trying to tell me how they tried to get him to play at MacU one time, and it just wasn't able to happen. But, yeah, does he ever tell you about how he or who taught him how to play?
He honestly learned by himself.
Really?
There at Rio de Vasquez.
Really?
Yeah, he would always, like, grab a bunch of plastic bags and he would, like, wrap them up into a ball. And that was practically his ball. He would have, like, this little, like, square corner thingy, like a window, like, by the house. And he would always shoot at it or anything like that. Or, like, every time they would go to La Union, like, they would buy balls, but they would pop on him quick because you know how he had a power shot. So he was always looking for that same spot right there. But, like, he would get in trouble by his dad for playing soccer and stuff like that, Like, he would ditch school just to go play soccer.
Really?
So, yeah.
When you go back to Rio de Vasquez, how is that? I love going back to
I haven't been there since probably last year.
Really?
I was there last year. I'm there practically. I just feel peaceful, Like, I can go walk around. I look at the cows, or like I stop by my grandma's house.
Is your grandma still there?
Oh no, she passed away like 7 years ago.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry for that. Do you have anybody that lives there now?
Yeah, like my dad's family members, like my tias and stuff like that.
Right. It sucks because majority of my family's all here now.
They're here now?
Yeah, my grandparents go back every now and again, but eventually there's times where there's nobody there to go visit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because they're most like in the U.S. and stuff like that.
That's where we are now. I want to sit down with my dad and have like those type of conversations with him and be like, yo, like why? Like why'd you come from over there? I mean, we obviously know why, but you know, it's always interesting to find out why they had to come to that decision. You know what I'm saying?
To that decision and everything, yeah.
Did you ever ask your dad about that stuff?
I mean, there's times where I sit down and talk to him, like you know, like I ask him questions, like, you know. But I mean, he had to come, not by choice, but after my grandpa passed away, like his whole family moved to the U.S. Like they all had papers and stuff like that, so they came here. And I remember my dad was telling me a story that he ended up going back. He was like 17, 18 years old. And he was in Brujos de San Pancho. It's like a second division, La Ascenso and everything. And I remember him telling me like how Cruz Azul, Atlas, León, Pumas, America, like most of the other teams from the Liga MX went to his house to look for him.
No way.
When he had barely left back home because he was unstable. He would barely have money because, like, I mean, my family would think that he was out there drinking and stuff like that. You know, like he would waste his money on alcohol. So he was struggling, and you know, the majority of the time. So, I mean, now that I've met the people that actually played with him, I met a goalie that played in first division. His name is Aldo Rocha. Yeah, he played for León. And he even told me the story how my dad broke his finger by a shot. He broke his finger. And, you know, it's little stuff like that.
It's the world's a small place, man.
That's what I was going to say. Like, my dad brought him here with the legends and everything. And, I mean, they're really close friends as well after that, you know?
Yeah. I had my cousin Paco here, and he was explaining to me how when he was down there trying to make it to some Fuerzas Básicas, he ran into a coach who had coached his dad when he was younger. And I was like, dude, how do you that's what I mean. The world is so small,
It's small. I mean, now, like, the people that I met, like the legends from Cruz Azul and stuff like that, when I travel to play, let's say, when I go to Cruz Azul, I see them, you know, like Melby Brown or, like, people, stuff like that, Conejo, or, you know, or when I go to America, I mean, I got to meet Cuauhtémoc Blanco, which was pretty badass.
How sick was that, dude?
It was pretty cool. But he's just really short, you know, he's old and stuff.
Pero te imaginas, did you when you saw him at that height and then just started remembering all the stuff that
he did and everything. It was pretty crazy. Like, I didn't even notice he was there. I was like, I looked at him and I was like, he looks familiar, you know? So I walked up to him and I was like, hey, do you mind if I get a picture with you? And he was like, yeah, like humbly, you know? And he allowed, like, most of the group from the team to take a picture with him and everything.
Sick, because he was once there too.
He was once there and everything.
I had seen that you took a picture with Carlos Salcido as well.
Yeah, he even commented on the picture.
That's sick, dude.
As soon as I seen it, I was like, God damn, you know? Like, he's a really humble person too. Like, he's a man of money. Like, I'm not gonna lie, but you can tell the people that, like, grew up in, like, a hard situation and stuff like that, you know? It makes them, like, a really big person as well.
What other moments have you had starstruck? What about, like, a field that you went to go play on, or, like, a moment that hit you?
The best field that I've played, it was a stadium. It wasn't like grass or anything. It was the stadium of Tijuana. I've played on it twice already. It's really big. It's honestly really badass. I mean, the time that I had to play, it was like around 3:30. And that's when the people started arriving to the stadium for the first game, you know, like, you know, halftime. So, like, it was kind of packed, and they were watching us and everything. We were up 1-0. I went in, and, like, the porra from Bravos, like, just started cheering at me, like, oh, like, this and that. And, I mean, that was honestly one of my favorite moments and stuff like that.
It's a pro moment right there. Yeah. That's sick, dude. That's exciting to hear back from you. We were talking about your dad, and now that you're a dad, like, how is that?
I mean, at first it was kind of rough. My dad did not want to talk to me at all.
Oh,
At all. He did not want to talk to me.
I think they're always like that at first, huh?
I feel like my mom took it differently. She did whoop my ass the first day.
Really?
Yeah, she walked in the next day in the room, like hugging me. She was like, I just can't believe that I'm going to be a grandma. And
Yeah,
stuff like that.
after she whipped your ass.
She was like, I'm barely in my late 30s. Like, I feel old. And I was, I know, you know. But every time I take him home or he's with me, my dad, he's always wanting to be with them. Like, they always lay together. Like, my son gets really happy when he sees, you know, his grandpa and everything.
Yeah.
But I look at my son and I look at my dad. I'm like, you know, like
that one hits, huh?
It
when you
hits
see your dad as a grandpa, I always trip up watching my kids with my grandparents because it's like you get to see your parents grow. You know what I'm saying? Is that weird?
Yeah.
And then it's like you always hear that, like, yo, like, I see how you're treating my son. How come you didn't treat me like that?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Stuff like that.
Like, yo, like, what's up with that? But it's just like it's amazing to be able to give that gift to our parents. You know, to be able to turn them into grandparents. And then I don't like to think about it too much, but sometimes I'm just like, how will it be if I ever get granted the ability to be, you know, a grandpa? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the ultimate. Like, if I get to be a grandpa, God willing, like, that'd be, I made it. I think I made it in life already because I have my kids, I have a house, I can keep them fed and I can give them what they want. So that, to me, that's top tier. If I die, I shouldn't say that, but if I die tomorrow, I made it. You know what I'm saying?
You know, yeah.
And for me, my examples are my grandparents. You know, because my grandparents had their family and the family's tight. So if I can be a grandpa with kids,
then that would
that's it, man.
It would feel badass and everything.
Yeah, I used to want to be pro. Now I just want to be a grandpa with a lot of grandkids, bro.
I mean, I look, what's it called? I look back and everything. I'm just like, damn. Like, I mean, as well, like as you're saying, I look at my grandparents and I was like, damn, is that how they feel over us? You know, like I wonder how my dad feels and everything. But I see my dad and I'm just like, wow, like, you know, everything he's done for me, like I want to do the same thing. Like I want to make my kid feel like I feel towards my dad. Like I love my dad a lot. I love my mom as well, you know, like they've always helped me out since I was a little kid. Like they always gave me everything I wanted and my needs in soccer, you know, like what I want to live off of. So I want to do the same thing for him, you know, like I want to support him on what he wants to do, make him feel like, you know, his family loves him and everything like that. And that's something that I've never missed out on. My parents' love, you know. Like, yeah, I mean, there's problems in between families, like where you get in trouble. Normal. I mean, it's normal, you know. But one thing that neither of my parents like ever stopped doing is like, you know, giving me the love that, you know, me and my sister, my brother as well. So yeah.
That's well said, bro. That's well said. And then getting to see your brothers and your sisters at aunts and uncles. That's cool.
My sister gets so happy whenever, like, you know, it's just like, oh my God, I'm an aunt or my brother.
La tía. That's funny, dude. And then whenever your brothers or sisters get to that stage where they have kids, that's even different too. Because my nanny has a kid too, and whenever I see my nephew, it's just another generation, man.
You're like, damn, like I have a like nephew now and stuff like that.
Dude, it's wild, and the older we get, you know, we'll see what happens to it, but it's just all wild all around. Influences in soccer, bro. Your dad has a good imprint on the soccer here, whether it's like creating tournaments, creating leagues. Creating players. He used to have a lot of soccer teams back in the days. My brother played with Tecos, with Rafa and Junior and his brother, and he creates some good players, man. Like, what do you think is different about the way he coaches his players with someone else?
I feel like if my dad would have ever taken the spot, like the time to like practically like sign up to like study as a coach, I feel like he would have done pretty good, you know, like the way he is. Like I feel like with everything he knows in soccer and everything he's done and a lot of people he's helped out, you know.
He's developed.
He's developed a bunch of players, like, you know, like now that I look at
like your cousins, bro. Your cousins, when your older cousins, when they were younger, were beasts, bro. Rafa in the goal, he was an animal. Even though he was short, bro, but he was a beast. Raimundo, George, all of them. Juanito was ahead of his time too when he was young. Like, he develops.
I feel like, my dad would do a pretty good job in that. Like, you know, making players big, you know. But, I mean, he has his own life. He has, his soccer league and stuff like that. I mean, right now, he's trying to, like, make it even better, Like, he's always wanted to have, like, a good, stable league. Because you know how he's moving around from place to place.
The city doesn't help.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult, but he never give up. He never gives up. So, I mean, that's one thing that I really love about him,
And then I was going to bring up, for you, like, you don't think or see yourself as a coach, maybe?
I feel like, honestly, I would
be a good coach.
I would be a good coach. Like, if I take the time to, like, because that's one thing I actually been thinking about doing while I'm in Mexico.
You should.
I kind of want to take the test to apply to, like, study while I'm playing. I feel like I would honestly, if you learn it good, I feel like with the passion that I have towards the sport, the love, I feel like I can help people out,
Yeah.
Like, honestly, I would love to help out kids like me, or, like, come to the U.S., like, be a resort and stuff like that.
Yeah, because you have the experience. You've kind of been through that system.
I kind of been through the whole system, like, I would really love to help out people, kids and stuff like that, look for their dream,
And then you brought up a good subject. You should test and study for that while you're in Mexico. I had a guest, shout out to Juan de Dios Castillo. His dad was a coach, but basically what I'm trying to get at is he took his test in Mexico. And what took him 2 years to do there, I think he said would have taken him 8 to do here.
Yeah, that's what they were telling me too. Because I asked the directiva, I was like, hey, like, I kind of want to take a test to, like, be a adete or, like, an auxiliar and stuff like that. But mostly players don't ask us, but we can hook you up with it. Like, it can take you up to, like, a year or two. Right. And I was like, I would honestly love to, So, I mean, just to help out kids here in the U.S. and I can take them over there and, like, help them out, process them, good for them.
Yeah, dude, that'd be, and it's crazy. It's something that you have that you can reach, that if you weren't in your position, it wouldn't be so easy to reach.
It would be difficult.
So I think it's definitely something that you should just take advantage of.
I feel like the thing that would help me out most is because I have a soccer curriculum now, like, all right, this kid has been playing in Mexico, like, it's not first division, but it's still professionally, So I feel like it would help out a big part, like, okay, he understands the game, he's here for a reason,
you understand
like,
the language
and everything.
You write it, you live there, not only that, but you speak English, you write it, you speak it.
I feel like being a coach bilingual as well, it could help out a lot, so.
I wanted to ask, like, what your goals are for the year, but in these type of situations, you kind of just start taking it day by day.
Yeah, I mean, I look up to certain things during my year. Like, okay, this year, like, I'm going to score a bunch of goals. I need my minutes. I'm going to score, like, like, that's my mindset. Because if you don't have goals as a forward, it's difficult. You have to score. So every time at the beginning of the season, like, I always put myself in this mindset, like, okay, this season you're going to push up your high score on goals. Like, I have probably my highest rank in goals is 4 goals. So, I'm going to score 5 this season. I want to do 6. I want to do 7, So whenever I go inside a game, I'm like, okay, I got to get the extra goal. I have to score 2 goals this game, So I get myself in that, mindset and stuff. But as well, my goal every year is just to debut, train with the first team. I mean, I have this season, I did train with them. I honestly would love to continue staying there, like, do a preseason with them, like, start off with them, go and do, like, go on the bench, against, like, a good team and stuff like that. Like, that's my mindset. Like, first division is, like, the first thing you gotta work for,
After Sub-20, is it
the first
team?
Yeah.
So you're just almost there.
So, I mean, it's not almost there, but, like, you have to, like, keep yourself in that. Okay, you have to get a process before you go up, Because if, let's say, you don't get chosen for a first team, because I have to obviously offer you a contract and stuff like that. That's why there's the expansion now, So it helps you out a lot with that. And then, like, okay, you can let him get a process from you here. If he does good, okay, we'll just take him up to the first team now.
Have you played along anybody that has made it?
Right now, my boy Daniel Garcia, he's been starting off with the first team, honestly.
Really?
Yeah. I've known him since I've got there. He's always played with me. He's always been the captain. He's a midfielder, and he plays as a number 6 and everything. But, man, that kid he's just good for what he does. He's so technical. He's strong, and he's that type of person that, like, he just communicates throughout the whole field. And right now he's in first division. he's been training for like a whole year now. He got his debut last season, and this season he's been starting off. Like he played the game of the repechaje. They played against Toluca in their stadium. He started off and everything. So,
dude, I feel like that jump happened so fast.
Like it happened quick. He was planning on leaving because he had problems like me with the directiva and everything, so he really wasn't playing. And out of nowhere, he just played his last 2 games. They called him up to do preseason with the first team, and from there, he's never got back down. He hasn't trained with the U20, nothing like that. He's just been in first division.
Dang, and you still communicate with him?
Yeah, I talk to him every day. We live in the same house, so we get along really good.
Andas en Casa Club?
Yeah, in Casa Club.
Dude, how was that? I hear stories about how fun, crazy, wild it could.
It could get pretty crazy, like.
What do you have, like 40 kids living in one?
No, it's like 20 kids.
20?
Like 20, 18. Like there's 4 kids in each room, but like they're bunk beds. So, you have your bunk bed, you get to put your stuff on top and stuff like that. What sucks is that you can have good stuff, but there's people that come and they take it, you know? But apart from that, like it gets pretty cool. Like you have your friends around, your teammates. Like the first thing you do when you get home, the lady makes us food. We're just talking about practice, or like after that we shower, we go to the sala, we play some FIFA and stuff like that, Or we make tournaments of money. Or like for snacks and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool.
How was that showing up day one? Because you've spoken on it a little bit about having to earn your stripes. Like, how was that? Like getting used to the Casa Club. Used to
at first it was hard because I hated it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it'd be annoying sometimes.
I bet you they're so good at talking shit, bro.
Yeah,
like, I can imagine how much shit they're gonna be talking to.
I'm like, God, there's times where
Viene el americano, el del
stuff like
norte,
that. They always call me gringo or like grandote and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They have a lot of names for me over there, like Chun Li. I don't know if it's like a WWE wrestler, but they call me like they name me after him.
Of who?
I don't know what's his name, Chun Li, some shit like that.
Oh, bro, Chun Li is the I think. I don't know what Chun Li is.
He's big and he has like long hair, I think.
You think so? Okay, I'm gonna have to look him up. I can't believe I'm blanking on it. That's
so they call me that, or Coreano, or like Asian boy, stuff like that. So they take advantage of me, like like they make fun of me, but like
así es la raza.
Yeah, that's how they are over there.
That's tough, bro. It's like in the movie Selena, where it's just like you gotta be more Mexican than the Mexican, but more Americans than the Americans, porque ni uno ni el otro vas acá y ni allá, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's real, isn't it?
It's true. I mean, even though like I talk a lot of Spanish over there, like my Spanish is good, but like there's stuff where I started with, and they start making fun of me for everything. Like if there's one thing I say wrong, they look at me like, no, like eres pinche gringo and stuff like that. You can't be saying that. So yeah.
Damn, that's probably why you don't like to talk too much out there, because they're just gonna get you, huh?
Yeah, so like most of the time I stay quiet, or like I just really wouldn't say anything. But like it's funny, but like sometimes it does get to a point like, okay, like I get it, stuff like that.
What's your daily schedule look like when you wake up at Casa Club?
Okay, so Monday it's regenerating, because we got them playing on Friday or Saturday, so we got the weekend off to rest. So I wake up at 5:30 if I practice at 6. If I practice at 6:30, I wake up at 5:30. I wake up, I eat some breakfast, like some cereal, or I make a quick egg, something like that. I brush my teeth, I get ready, I head out to practice, with one of my friends that has a car and stuff like that. We get to practice. They told us the ones that played, they're going to just run for like 15 minutes to relax their body. Then we're going to put to the side and do like a little bit of fuerza to like stretch out the muscles and stuff like that. And the rest, the ones that played like 30 minutes or less, we're going to just put them to do like a doble área, like, where they put the 2 goals, like it's a short space. So it's like pretty fun, like the first day, And then the next day is just like, as well, the same morning. It's really physical on Tuesday. It's really heavy. It's a heavy day. And I mean, usually after practice every day, like I hit the gym. I go to the gym with my boys, or I go to the gym by myself, or with like a friend over there. And Wednesday is like, it's a quick day, And then it comes, like we do táctica fija on Wednesdays. So Thursday, we can just like go, we do the foot tennis, and we just do like a quick game, and we're done with practice. And then it comes to Friday to the game, and that's it.
So you guys play on Fridays?
Yeah, we usually play Fridays. Like this season, we would play 2 games a week because it was a quick season, you know. So they put 2 games a week, and it would be heavy. Like, you know, we would have to travel and then come back, train one day, and then play the next. So it was really heavy.
And that's what they do here in college. They play 2 games, maybe even sometimes 3 games, which I think is a lot.
Yeah, it could be bad. You can honestly twerk yourself really bad, or like te desgastas bien rápido, you know.
Well, above all this experience that you've had, like, what's the one thing that you've taken back on?
Like, what do you mean?
Like, what's the one thing that you've learned? Like,
what I've learned?
Yeah, from all this that you've gone through, the highs, the lows. That if you were to go back to tell yourself, like, what would you do? What would you tell yourself?
Honestly, one thing I've learned the most is to depend on yourself, honestly. I mean, you're not doing this for anybody. I mean, even though, like, I might say that I'm doing this for my son and stuff like that now, like, I'm still doing it for myself, you know? Because, I mean, I'm the one here sacrificing my whole life, you know, my family, you know, everything that I'm doing just to be here. And I choose to do it for myself because I could easily be here working or just playing Sunday League and stuff like that. But I choose to take that big jump in life and sacrifice to do what I love, you know? Because, I mean, if I have the opportunity, obviously, I'm not going to, like, let it go, you know?
What's the dream? The debut in MX?
Yeah, debut, and, you know, if I see that things are working out really good, if anything, if I'm in first division and I'm, like, scoring goals, I would love to take that step to Europe and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
anything's possible, bro.
Anything can be possible.
I want to see it happen.
No, I really do.
I want to see it happen,
It would be badass, honestly.
You have a lot of people cheering for you here in Oklahoma City, and it's...
I really appreciate that.
Anything that you put up, it seems to keep people riled up. You know, it's like people are living vicariously through you. Like, you're doing it, it makes us feel like we're there too. Kinda.
Like, the only reason why I post it, I mean, I'm not the type of person that really likes to post about my stuff like that. But I was like, you know what? I would love to, like, let people from my city or, like, other people to see that, you know, it can be done, you know? So, like, I post around, I make videos of it, or, like, you know, stuff that I do during my week, you know, so people can catch up and stuff with it, you know?
Think of it like this. You're documenting.
Yeah,
you're documenting
like
your
that.
life. Instead of
like
posting, it's, I find it a lot easier to just be like documenting. Documenting my day, kind of letting people know.
So people can know, like, you know, how things are going and stuff like that, you know?
Because I bet you people reach out to you and ask you questions all the time.
A lot of people, like, a lot of people ask me on Instagram from TikTok. They're always like, oh, like, how'd you get this? Or, like, you know, they ask me for advice. And, I mean, I tell them straight up, you know? Or, like, you know, like, oh, I seen your TikTok. This is pretty cool and stuff, like, little stuff like that, you know?
TikTok is crazy, huh?
Yeah.
Is able to pull people like that.
It pulls a lot of people. Like, I've got some famous people, you know, like, talking to me and stuff like that. Like, girls that play professional soccer as well. Like, they follow me on Instagram and stuff like that. So it's
Do you remember that TikTok that I put on the Futbol Factory TikTok? That's kind of like some Western League vibes. And cuts to your dad scoring a penalty kick.
Yeah.
That one was one of the ones that was like, my mind was blown because I had made a post. And then I started seeing people comment about it. And then I started seeing people arguing in the comment section about it, like, oh, Sunday League in Europe versus Sunday League in the United States.
And stuff.
Oh, and this, and that. And it's just so weird seeing people have, like, debates about something like that. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it was honestly a really badass TikTok. I'm not going to lie. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, hopefully we can make some TikTok bangers out of this big, long podcast that we have.
Yeah, I'm down. It would actually be pretty cool. I mean, honestly, if y'all post about this, like, the people that y'all bring and stuff like that, it can, like, you know, open up more. You know, you can probably get people from out of the state, you know, people like that.
That's the goal, just to see who's willing to jump on, bro.
I'm honestly, like, it's honestly pretty badass to have people like that. So
thank you. Maybe your dad will come on. Who knows? Nah.
I would tell him, but I don't think he's like the type of people I would like to talk like that. You know.
He's been on Sports Mas.
Like, he doesn't really say anything. Like, he's just there, like, standing there. Like, they pass him the mic, and he's just like, nah, like, you know, I don't want to say anything. You know.
Oh, this is different though.
Yeah. You can. I mean, I'll tell him straight up. Like, you know, you just sit here, we talk to him. Like,
he can ask you some questions. You can ask him questions if you want. It's not like he hasn't talked to me before.
I'll talk to him. I'll talk to him about it.
That's funny, dude. One time I ran into your dad. I was watching La Cuitapa play a final in La Unión. And I had showed up, and I guess your dad had just got done playing because he was in his gear. And he was like, "How come you didn't tell me you were coming to Mexico?" I was like, I didn't know how to tell you. And he was like, we could have used you. And I was like, with a bag of chips.
With the bag of chips,
with Cueritos and
Cueritos.
I'm like, what do you want me to tell you? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I could have been here and played. I think that's the cool thing about him and you guys is that, like, soccer, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Soccer. I see you guys and I think soccer. And that's the cool thing about it all is soccer. Because soccer, it's what is soccer to you, bro?
Soccer is just honestly something that I've always loved doing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's honestly the best thing for my mental state. It keeps me going. It motivates me. I look at it like, I used to look at it like, oh, I just want to play. But like now that I look at it, I'm like, oh shit, like I'm practically like living off of this. Like I love it, you know, like soccer can give you a whole life of ups and downs. But if you take the good away from it, like it can give you anything you want.
It can give you friends. It can give you a career.
Like
it can give you a job. It could
That's true.
create enemies. It could make you depressed. It could cure you. It can make you do all kinds of things. I think about the World Cup a lot, man, because when the World Cup comes, everything stops.
Yeah, everything. Like, I mean, that's why they give us a big break too.
Really?
Like, yeah, they give us like a whole month. We usually just get like 2 to 3 weeks of vacations, and then we're back for preseason again. But they told us, oh, like, you know what? Due to the World Cup, we're gonna let you guys spend time with your family for like a month, probably a month and a half, depending, you know. So yeah, it's pretty cool right now.
Is this World Cup gonna mess with the schedule for this season?
No, because they already did. They already messed with it and everything. You know, like that's where the season was quick. But I mean, next season it goes back to normal because I mean the season of the World Cup ends in December, no? So like we'll be back in January. Like we'll start again from January to May.
And who do you think's gonna win the World Cup?
Honestly, I'm looking at Argentina right now.
I was hoping you'd say Mexico, bro, but okay.
Mexico, I mean, with the thing that's going on with Tata Martinez, like...
Dude, how's the vibe for Tata Martino in Mexico?
I really don't like it.
No?
He has so many good players to, like, you know...
Create something.
Put out there. Like, I mean, I get it. You want to have your legends of Mexico, like, you know? But in my opinion, you have a striker. Like, he might be playing in the U.S., you got Chicharito there. Like, when it comes to World Cup or the national team, he's like a whole different person, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, if you're missing out on a striker like that to choose, all right. I mean, Funes Mori's a good player. The players that they got, like Alexis Vega and
but
stuff like that.
But if we want to talk about players in form, the best strikers right now, people that are scoring goals right now, it's Chicharito.
It's Chicharito. You know? Like, you see a post of him every day, he's scored a hat trick. He scored the brace or like, you know, goal and stuff like that. But you see, it's just like it's when soccer has problems and stuff like that, it brings bad stuff for it, you know.
Damn.
So
even in the national level, but even like in your level, stuff like that.
It can be bad too.
Well, I say Mexico, bro. No, I think Brazil's looking dangerous.
Brazil looks dangerous too.
Belgium looks nice. France looks deep. It's always interesting to see what Spain does, but I want to see someone win it that hasn't already won it.
I feel like Argentina would deserve it, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, the U.S., at first they were coming out like if they had a really good team, but I feel like they could do pretty good from their group and everything like that, but I feel like if they make it at like the next round 16, I feel like they'll choke a bit, but Mexico can actually get through it. I mean, they have Argentina in their group and stuff like that. And there's 2 teams that qualify now from their group, their group. So I feel like if they get up there with Argentina, like they can qualify and get a chance, you know. Yeah. But I mean, I would love to see Mexico, you know, go far.
Come out top. I want to see them beat Saudi Arabia. I want to see them beat Poland, and I want to see them tap that ass on Argentina, bro. I have to.
I mean, if it happens, I would honestly be happy. I'm not doubting Mexico, but it's just like the.
Yeah. I'm just crazy and always try to think positive. And I'm just like, believe, imaginándome cosas chingonas. Always, bro. With them,
I mean, that's what it's supposed to be, honestly.
That's the mentality we have to take home when you step on pitch. Damn, bro. Well, do you have anything to say? Anything you want to leave us with?
That's a good question. I feel like...
Shout out to the people that are listening to you. Any messages or anything? Like,
I just want to give a shout out to my mom that's listening right now. And obviously to my kid. And to the people that have always been supporting me, you know, like I've been here since, like I've started since the beginning. And I just want to tell everybody that I'm thankful for everything, the support, the help, and, you know, people like my dad's friends that like always been there and everything that's helped us out as well. And I'm just thankful for the people that have always like believed in me practically. So
Yeah, bro. Well, just keep on fighting the good fight, bro. That's
Yeah.
it. And then get your coaching license too. That'll be sick.
Yeah, I
want
want to get that down. I want to get that done with too. Like I feel like it would be badass,
That would
honestly.
be-
Like even if I don't do anything with coaching, but like having something like that would be pretty cool.
That would, yeah. It's funny how you need it. You unfortunately need it. Not fortunately, it's good because coaches have to be trained and we have to have the best out there. So yeah, I think it'd be smart for you to get that. Well, for the people that have been listening up to this point, dude, I appreciate it. This has been another episode of the Mas Futbol podcast with my guy, Daniel Marquez. Peace.
Peace.